Hi, so you guys have seen a lot of me today because I was in the kitchen using up my bones, using up my beets, using up my water kefir. So now I'm just going to show you, and I'm going to do longer videos where I do everything from scratch, but I'm going to just give you guys some quick tips and quick videos so that if you have anything at home already, then you can do it without having to look at like a 30-minute video. So today I'm going to show you how I make sauerkraut. Now, when I tend to cook sometimes, I'll make something really nice and then I'll be scared to eat it because I don't know how it tastes. So in my sauerkraut, right, I made it and I've been looking at the sauerkraut. I made this batch on the 13th of February. And I've been looking at the sauerkraut every day, looking to see if there's any mold because I did a batch last year or year before last year. And I just screwed it up. I messed up the entire batch. So when I did this sauerkraut, I'm looking at it every day to see, let me see if there's any mold on this sauerkraut. So today I worked up the courage to taste the sauerkraut, and guess what? The sauerkraut tastes so good. It tastes so good. I was like, thank you, Jesus. So this is the sauerkraut that I made here. This one just has cabbage and carrot and salt water. And it tastes good. And now this one, because you can tell by now I like to experiment. This one has beets, broccoli, cabbage, carrot, and some chili. And this is super delicious. So I said, okay, I've cracked this sauerkraut so I could show you guys how I make it. So basically, with the sauerkraut, all you do is you chop up cabbage. So you get a whole cabbage and you chop it up. This is not organic, but I'm okay with it because it's going to ferment anyways. And again, with sauerkraut, it's high in probiotics. It improves the digestion, your digestion. And it is also good for increasing the nutrient uptake in any foods that you're eating. So usually you want to try and have a little bit of sauerkraut before you eat to sort of like prepare your digestive tract. So this is what I've done. I've chopped up one big cabbage and I've chopped up I think 3 carrots in there, right? The carrots were organic. And I added how many tablespoons of salt? I added 1 tablespoon of salt because the other batch was too salty. So you salt it to taste basically, right? And then I massaged it in and I left it until, can you see the juice? Let me see if you could get it this way. I left it until the juices started to come out. You can't see the juice, but there's juice in here. There we go. So I left it until that started to happen with the liquid. And basically that's when you know that you're ready to start to package the sauerkraut. You want to make sure that you're allowing the sauerkraut to the water to be released from the cabbage and the carrots because you're going to use that water in the jar. So if you're really busy and you don't have time to sit and massage the cabbage and the carrots until the water is released, add the salt into the cabbage and the carrot, and then from time to time just go back and just give it a stir. And I've left this out for a couple of hours and it's very you could see how the texture has changed. So I'm going to show you how quick and easy it is to make sauerkraut. If you really legitimately don't have time to make sauerkraut, then you can go buy it from a health food shop, but make sure that it's raw and unpasteurized, and you'll tend to find that in the cold part of the health food shop, which is obviously the fridge, right? So all you have to make sure the jar is clean again, and you want to save the core of the, I'm going to use my hands for this. You want to make sure you save the core of the cabbage, which is the hard part or the heart of the cabbage, because that helps. You'll need that at some point. So my hands are clean. I'm just going to wash my hands again actually because they are clean, but just double check. So you take and you can feel it going a bit limp. You take the cabbage and the carrot and you just stuff it in. This is how I do it. Obviously there are better ways to do things, but I enjoy feeling the food that I've prepared, right? And you stuff that in and you leave this to ferment. Some people say a few days, some people say a few weeks. I made mine on the 13th of February and today is the 23rd, so that's what 10 days, right? See my math skills, right? That's 10 days and it's almost 2 weeks, and mine tastes good. And then when it's finished fermenting after 2 weeks, so I have another 4 days to wait, then you put it in the fridge and you eat that. So I'm going to just pack mine tight because as the water releases, then it starts to allow more space on the top, which I don't want. So let's take out a little bit actually. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the water from here and pour it in here. If you haven't got enough water from your cabbage and your carrot, then you could add some salt water to that. So that salt water mixture is called brine, which I actually need to make, because if you can see this here, I don't have enough liquid. The liquid is only coming up to about here, so that's not enough. It needs to cover everything. So I'll show you how I make my brine. Need to find a glass container. So I'm just going to pour some water into here. I'll need to do a couple of these. This is filtered water. I thought I would have had more water actually, to be honest. And I'm going to mix that in with some salt. I'm going to put in about 1 teaspoon there. Again, you don't want to make this too salty, because then it's not going to be it's not going to taste good. So I'm just going to mix that in, and then I'm going to add that into my cabbage until it's full to the top. So that's something to check beforehand. But I do these videos like normally. I don't prep it in advance, so you see what errors could occur as you're doing it. So a little tiny bit more salt and water. And this is actually quite good for me, because I like to have salt in my food, but when I have the sauerkraut now, especially if it comes out a bit salty, I won't add any salt. I'll just add a bit of sauerkraut into that dish to substitute for the salt. And that's a second glass of water in there. So that's taken about 1 3/4 cups of brine. And then this is the heart of the cabbage. That's the hard part there. And this is what we're going to use as the weight, because in order for this to ferment, there's something it's an anaerobic process, so there's no oxygen that gets into this jar. You want to make sure that the cabbage and the carrots are submerged in the jar. So adding this heart allows that to happen. So I'm going to just press that all the way down, and then when I'm pressing it down, the water comes on top, and I'm not quite happy with how high that is, so I want it to be really submerged, so the water almost comes on top. And I'm going to take this part of the cabbage, right, so the hard outer leaves, and I'm going to just put that over the heart of the cabbage there, and I'm going to make sure that that too is submerged. And then I'm going to cover. Now this is definitely going to get some spillage, so I'm going to put this in a container that will catch it, and I'm going to cover that tightly, and I'm going to just check this every day, and I'm going to burp this jar, which means I'm going to make sure, because I've packed that quite tight, so you could see the cabbage leaves on top, there's no oxygen or anything in there. I'm going to pack that tight, and I'm going to burp it to allow for any extra gases to come out. So how many minutes here? 8 minutes almost. Doesn't take that long to do sauerkraut. So if you've got cabbage and carrots at home and some salt, chop everything up, add it, massage it, get all the juices out. If you need to make a brine solution of water and salt, then you can do that. And then just add that into your sauerkraut jar and date it, so you know when you started your first process, and then leave it for a couple of weeks to ferment. And then you have a powerful probiotic raw dish here, full of nutrients, full of good bacteria for your gut, for your intestines, your digestion. And it's really inexpensive. So this is something that you guys can try at home. Let me know if you like sauerkraut, your sauerkraut, if it tastes good after you've made your batch. And like the video and subscribe to my channel, and thank you for watching. Ciao!